hopefully. Yes.
Yeah, don't go on those.
Hmm?
Don't go live on those.
All right. We're live on YouTube. We're live on
On YouTube?
yeah, on Audio Alchemy Productions YouTube. What's your password again?
0304. It's my birthday.
Is this live on your Facebook?
Mm-hmm. Or, no, it's on Chaotic But Good. But it'll be on my Facebook, too.
Like it'll be
I'll share
posted
it.
on your Facebook?
It'll be
Or it'll be-
shared on that one.
What is it live on?
Chaotic But Good. Oh, you don't follow. Damn. Nobody follows until they get on there.
I didn't even know what it was called until 20 minutes ago.
Good. All right, we're going to start recording in 5, 4.
Hey guys, welcome back to Chaotic But Good. Today we had a very last minute cancellation. I was talking to somebody and they told me, they were like, you're upset that strangers end up having things to do. And they did, but hopefully Brooklyn will be on fairly soon. I met her at the Valvoline. She changed my oil for me. It was real cool. I was like, you want to be on a podcast? And she was like, sure, but worked a super long shift. But I'm so grateful today because I have Bradley here with me. Bradley is a good friend of mine that I've known for a little over 5 months now. And this is just an opportunity for us to, like, I don't know, I guess get to know each other better. Like, have some cool experiences. Are you excited to be here?
I am very excited to be here.
It's so crazy how the universe works out because you just randomly texted me today to ask if I had a podcast. And I never asked why. I thought you were asking maybe because you wanted to be on it. But, like, were you just curious about the process or what's going on there?
Well, Adam's got one.
Yeah.
And I've watched his a couple times. And one of my good friends from Gluckstadt up the road, he's trying to get into the podcast biz, I guess you call it. And it just, I don't know, sparked some kind of new interest in me. And I've heard that you had one, so here I am.
Here and now here you
Here
are.
I am.
I said that I was going to start a list of people so that when I have cancellations that I'd reach out, and I didn't expect to reach out so soon, but here we are. And if I recall correctly, your friend said that he wanted you to be on his podcast,
He
not
does.
Adam. What's your other friend's name?
Jules.
And what is his podcast going to be on?
Conspiracy theories and rabbit holes, I believe. I'm not 100%. But he knows a lot more about it than I do, so I got to do a little bit of research and find my own rabbit holes to go down. But it's really just about speaking the real truth, or I don't know, anything that you find an interest in, I guess.
So are you a big conspiracy theorist fan or no,
No,
not at all?
I mean, I believe in what I've seen with my own eyes.
So do you have, like, would you be useful on that podcast at all? Or
I feel like I would be a good, well, like when we talk on the phone, because whenever I was over the road, we'd always talk and we'd get lost in conversation and he'd be going on and on about all this, books he's read, this, that, and the other. And I mean, you know me, I'm kind of an asshole. So I
just a little bit, yeah.
try and point out, just like, that's pretty crazy, Jules, or whatever. So I think that I would have a different approach to it, but it would be good for an episode maybe
To go on that. I can
just
get
challenge them a little bit,
I can get on, like, rabbit holes for way too long, and I'm big on, like, true crime and stuff like that. Like, I love and I'm also real big on alien conspiracies. I don't know why, but
space really interests me.
Does it? What's your favorite thing? Like, were you one of those kids that grew up and just really enjoyed learning about space in class, or is that more of a grown-up thing that's happened?
If I was smart enough, I would love to be an astronaut, but I think I've made some pretty awesome life change choices that got me to where I'm not going to be an astronaut anytime soon. But I like deep space a lot. Whenever I got into photography, I was,
I didn't know you did photography.
Yeah, I shot some weddings and
Really?
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
I hated it, the wedding part, but the photography part I loved. I like just going walking around in the woods and taking pictures of acorns on the ground and shit.
Acorns were more fun than people. What was the wedding aspect part that you didn't like? Was it the people or
the wedding itself was stressful, but the people after the wedding is where you have to edit thousands and thousands of pictures, and they're just I'm not a people person, so
they expect a pretty quick turnaround with that.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend that was a photographer, and
a lot of work.
I didn't realize how much, like, I always was under the impression it was like shoot and snap, and I didn't realize there was so much more to it. But she would have me come if she had a second shooter. I'm not a photographer by any means, but I would go work these weddings with her, and weddings were so stressful because you had one chance to get like that first kiss or that first look. Like you have 2 seconds to get it.
That.
Tell me.
So my second one that I didn't do many after this, but I did a few more. They had those little light up candles, like the little cheap,
like the tea candles.
Yeah, and I had them all over the floor. And I, being me in that time, was wearing jeans and boots, walking around.
For this wedding,
running around. I mean, I was doing a good job, I thought. So I'm walking down the aisle, and like trying to get some good like from the floor shots, of the first kiss, and step on one of said candles and just completely eat shit in front of probably 200 people.
Did you burn anything, or did it, because it was so small, it didn't?
No, it just crunched under my foot, and my camera fell on the ground, like I fell on the ground, like I hit the concrete, like hard, just.
Did you still get the shot?
Yeah, I had it on shutter, and it was kind of effed up, but the bride was really cool about it, and she was like, "These are all going in frames in our living room."
That's real sweet. Did you when was this photography phase? Was it?
This was a couple years after graduating high school.
Okay, so that was, and aren't we the same age? How old are you?
29.
Where'd you go to high school?
Ocean Springs on the coast.
Oh, that's right. You're from the coast.
Mm-hmm.
I am slowly remembering all of our conversations that happened. And you mentioned too driving around when you were talking to your friend about conspiracy theories. Tell us about what you did. Why were you driving around, Bradley?
So after I got sober the first time, I was up here for about a year trying to figure out, what I wanted to do with my life and whatnot. And then I ended up moving back down to the coast. And I had this neighbor that we would always just go and hang out in his garage, and his neighbor would come over, and he was this old man, and he would always tell me about trucking stories. And he was like, "You need to get your CDL. You need to get your CDL. Like, you need a job, go get your CDL." And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going. Like, finally one day it just snapped in my head, and I was like, I guess I'll just finally go
get
do
my
something.
CDL.
Get my CDL. And then I went and got it, and was on the road for about a year, and then bought a truck and rode around in my own truck for about a year and a half, and then recently came back, and here I am.
And are you somebody that always liked driving? Like, I hate driving. I could fall asleep behind. I could not drive. Passenger princess all the way.
I understand that, because if I'm passenger, I'm out cold.
Yeah.
I'll sleep for like 14 hours in a car.
I just don't like driving. Like, it's the same thing. It's the same. You got to look out for stuff. And I'm not a very good driver. Like, it's not. You could put that on my tombstone.
I've seen people that can't even drive like a Honda Civic drive a semi truck, which is scary. But
what is the test for this? Is it?
I mean, you go to school for like 3 weeks. I mean, you can go and get it, if you already know how to drive, but they teach you how to drive and stuff.
So I don't know where. I assume they have a DMV in Ocean Springs somewhere.
Yeah, it's on the coast.
Do they?
directly in
Ocean Springs.
Yeah.
But they have here when you, and Danny, you might remember this, but did you take your driver's test at Metro? Like at Metro Mall? Was that?
No, I learned how to drive in Dallas.
Oh,
I didn't
okay,
move here
that's right.
till 05.
That's right. Well, at Metro Center Mall, like there's nothing there. The driver's test was you drive around the parking lot, and that was it, like 5 miles per hour. So that's probably why people in Jackson can't drive very well, is because it's just this quick little.
I distinctively remember my driver's test, leaving the parking lot, taking a right, going the length of the parking lot, taking another right, and being done with it.
And that was
the whole test.
I also think, and I don't know if you agree with me on this, I think that once you reach a certain age, you should start having to retake your driver's test.
Every 5 years.
Oh, because my grandmother, sweet rest in peace. She was
no
wonderful.
Idea where they're going.
She was not a good driver anyway, but especially when the Alzheimer's started to kick in, she was not. It wasn't. I remember her I told her one time to turn on her blinker because somebody would let her over. She's like, I'm old enough where I don't have to use my blinker. I was like, that's not how that works. They can't read your mind past that point. But no, driving's not for me. But also I say that, but if they did start something where you had to retake your driver's test every 5 years, I probably wouldn't have a license right now.
That is something I feel very strongly about, actually. I have been bitching and complaining about people, driving crazy as shit, because you see a million cars a day or whatever, and 98% of them are idiots just flying around you.
Go ahead, sorry.
And it's funny that you bring up old people because they're just they look like they have no idea where they're going, and they're going 7 miles an hour on the interstate or whatever. They're just existing.
Those horrible stories where people that don't have their memory anymore are driving and will drive off into a pond or something, and that's the end of them. I mean, we all go at some point, but that's
probably the way I'm gonna go.
It's driving down. What?
I'll probably end up just driving until I hit California and just be like, oh, I passed Walmart.
There we
come
are.
Back.
Where? So I assume you've driven all around the country, everywhere. Where is your favorite state? What's the prettiest state to drive through?
Oregon.
Oregon.
I hate Oregon, but Oregon's the prettiest.
Why is it pretty? Is it just is it hilly
green.
Or is it super green?
Super green.
See, and
there's lots of national parks there, and just going up. It was always on fire whenever I went there, which added to the pretty, the pretty
aesthetic of it.
It's weird. There would just be a huge burning, forest on the side of the road, and you'd be like, well, I guess that's what we're doing today, driving through smoke up through the mountains. But Oregon, Colorado, any of those, any of the Rocky Mountain states are beautiful. I mean, the whole country is really something special.
I can disagree because there is one state that I drove through that was absolutely terrible. So I worked at and I feel so bad for these podcast people or the people that listen regularly, but also shout out to y'all. Y'all are a blessing. But driving through, I worked at a special needs camp in Wisconsin, right? And so we had to drive up. And we went through Iowa, and Iowa was the worst state that I've ever driven through in my entire life. The only thing that I saw the whole time were pro-life signs and one Rascal Flatts tour bus. That was it for the whole state of Iowa.
Yeah, that checks out.
Have you been to Iowa and seen the same?
It's funny because the billboards that you're talking about, it'll be pro-life, pro-gun, and then a random syphilis one in there, and it's just what's going on with these people?
No, it was such an awful drive, but also I think I was angry because our engine ended up cracking in St. Louis, so we had to drive all the way back up to Wisconsin, and the next day come back down to go get the car, and then go back up through Iowa, and it was absolutely terrible.
Yeah, Iowa's not that great. Niagara Falls is really cool.
I've never been. Do you like waterfalls? Are you a water? Is it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I was like, it's a waterfall, right?
Hence the falls part, other than being,
I'm such
Niagara
a dumbass.
Falls.
Can we edit that
out? Niagara is an interesting place. I did really enjoy upstate New York. it's weird because the Northeast is like when I think Northeast coming from Mississippi, like before I got on the road and started traveling, I thought that was all just like big city. Like everywhere up there is just big city, which is, there are some big cities up there, but there's a lot of rural, like farmlands like there is here. It's not to the extent of, how many there are in Mississippi, but like Connecticut is just like all grass fields everywhere. It's weird. And then you'll have like a big city, and then just on the outside of that, like that's how like Chicago is. Like once you get outside the city, it is fields until you hit, I don't know, wherever is west of there.
Is that something, like, was that one of your favorite things about driving, was getting to see so many different places?
Yeah, and meeting people all over was really interesting.
What were you, for somebody that doesn't like people, you liked meeting people?
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
It made me a little, I know I'm not the most cultured individual, but it definitely brought my eyes, opened my eyes to a lot of things that were going on around in the country. It opened my eyes to a lot of new foods. I was okay with ramen for a long time, coming out of high school and stuff, just cheese and ramen, like that was a pretty solid oriental dish for me. And then I was like, oh, I figured out what curry is. That's cool. And and just things like that. Just trying new things. It was really,
where would you meet,
brought me out of my shell a little bit.
People to talk to? Was it like restaurants, gas stations, just what you would expect, or at the trucker stops?
Truck stops. Truck stops aren't as personal as they used to be. Everybody's kind of on their phone and talking to their family, but every now and then you get caught up in a good conversation with like an old timer or somebody new, or it's kind of like AA.
It's kind of like AA.
Now I'm thinking about it, just meeting people in general,
Did you have one of those? So I work a retail job, and I can always tell a trucker when they come in because they have that ungodly headset on. Did you have one of those headsets?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you did?
Yeah.
And I do want to backtrack just a little bit to AA, because that is how we know each other. I tell people all the time, like, I don't want this to end up being a recovery podcast because there's so many great ones, and I'm not that girl. But I'm very blessed with a lot of people that I do know are in recovery because I like to surround myself with those people.
Yeah.
How long have you been sober for?
I'm actually picking up 6 months tomorrow.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
I don't think I realized that we came in so close to the same time.
Yeah, you're what, like a month behind me,
I'm
right?
5 months and 17 days today.
Oh,
I
yeah,
only
that's
know
right. You're like a couple of weeks like right behind me.
Yeah, because we ended up, you actually were one of my first friends that I met in the rooms because we ended up going and getting coffee, and then you destroyed, I planned on talking about this. You destroyed McDonald's chicken nuggets for me.
Yeah, I was like, what did I destroy?
Look, you ended up, so you came over after a meeting, like we all had a little get together, and you were like, I'm going to go pick up food. And I was like, oh, McDonald's chicken nuggets. Because when I wasn't sober, I loved McDonald's chicken nuggets. And you were like, they're going to be nasty. And I was like, they're not going to be nasty. They are disgusting.
Yeah, they're horrible.
They're terrible. And then I had COVID right around Christmas and had Wendy's chicken nuggets, and those taste like chewing on a dish sponge. Like, those are terrible too. There's no good. Do you have a favorite chicken nugget?
I mean, Chick-fil-A, but that's not.
That doesn't count
That's
to you
like,
as fast food.
I feel like that's like high-end fast food.
Are you a nuggets or a strip guy?
That's a good question.
I know. I'm asking the hard-hitting stuff.
If it's
on
Chick-fil-A, I don't care what it is, as long as I have that Polynesian sauce to
Have you tried the sriracha sauce before? It's spicy Polynesian sauce is all that it is.
Ooh, I bet that's good.
You should try it sometime. I'm a honey mustard fan. I like how horseradishy theirs is. I like a little tang to my chicken nuggets.
Never understood horseradish that much.
I don't like spoonful it, but I'm not.
I think the name bothers me more than anything.
Horseradish. I wonder where that name
both sound
came
horrible.
from. Wonder who named it horseradish.
I don't know.
Why is it called horseradish? Danny, can I bother you for 2 seconds? Can you look up why horseradish is called horseradish?
There's horse apples too.
Aren't those are the?
They look like
They're like
They look like softballs with bumps.
Yeah. Can you like do anything
I don't
with
think
those?
so.
Like-
There's somebody figured out they couldn't eat them, so like, oh, I'll just give them to the horse. Horse apple.
the horse will do good with them.
Yeah.
Like I also think I'm just hungry because I haven't eaten dinner. I started taking a new sleeping medication, and last night I got up 3 separate times to eat meals, and I am devastated. That's why I'm dressed like this, because I feel like horrible. Well, and also you dress nice. I was like, don't dress nice. And you were like, I'm already dressed for the day. So why are you dressed nice? Was it just to
I
spite
felt
me?
good.
Okay. Well, now I can't even say anything about it. And
No, if I hadn't, I mean, I don't know. I had therapy today, and I don't know, worked out this morning and just woke up feeling good.
very good self-care.
Yeah.
I need to get some notes from you. I've been really struggling recently with like balancing life and my self-care. Yeah, because I've been feeling real like gross just about existing in general and not making the
feel
best
you.
decisions. But I'm also not doing the things that I should. Like I've been saying I'm going to get a membership for the past gym membership for the past couple days, and I just haven't. Like I just haven't. And then I haven't been getting up and getting dressed, which always makes me feel better, but I also don't like putting the effort into it. Like tonight I was like, I'm going to put on some mascara and feel cute. I'm just not. I don't. What motivates you to like try, you know?
Adam helps me a lot.
Okay.
He got me doing that 75 hard challenge, which I've slacked off of, to be honest. But
He doesn't have to know. He doesn't listen. He might listen. He probably doesn't.
He's gonna listen.
He's going to listen.
Yeah.
Hey, Adam, what's up?
No, he already knows I slacked off of it, but I do plan on starting it over again. And that's like the whole deal is if you mess up once, like an ounce of water off or 1 calorie off, or, mess up your routine, you got to start the whole thing over.
Throws your body out of the whatever. Yeah.
And even though I did mess it up, like that kind of changed my life. And just like my morning prayers and stuff, as long as my routine in the morning is good, then I'm pretty dedicated to, completing the day.
I was talking yesterday about starting back on my prayers. Like, and I think when people hear prayers, they think of very specific, like to a certain person, and it can be to whoever. But when I say my prayers, I feel so much better about myself.
Yeah, my prayers are a lot different than most people, I would think. It can vary from me, like screaming at myself in the mirror or screaming at some old lady that's in her car on the interstate going 7 miles an hour. But usually that's when I feel closest to my understanding of God is like whenever I feel myself getting upset and then being able to bring myself back down to like a ground point, if that makes sense.
Have you ever just done the thing where you scream in the car? I didn't do that for years, and I did it, and it was such a release.
Yes.
We need to have like a mountain around here to go scream off of.
Yeah.
That would
That's
be
what the coast is good for.
that's
screaming
a good.
at the ocean.
I need to go down to Ocean Springs. I have to go pick up a piece of artwork. Is there
Really?
anything? Yeah. So doing a silent auction thing at work,
Mhm.
and my high school art teacher is actually an artist. And I reached out. I was like, "Hey, will you donate something?" But he works for the Walter Anderson Museum and said that he would give a tour of it. But is there anything else down in Ocean Springs that I should check out while I am down there? Like anything really cool about your hometown?
Damn, put me on the spot.
I know. Speak about what you love, or else they're gonna know.
I don't know. The water there is shit brown.
Yeah, know that.
But it's beautiful in its own way. Sunsets there are impeccable. That was what got me started on photography. The downtown area is cool.
Super cute.
Yeah, it's
cute.
really, I like it a lot more than a lot of downtown, areas over the country. It's real pretty hippie and artsy kind of, it's really cool. It's a lot of drinking that goes on down there, but, you know, like, if you're there for the right reasons, it's a good place.
I think I had ended up down there one time when there was a market going on, and I
It's
love a market. Do you like markets? Are you
Yeah.
a sucker for? I could go sit at a market, but I can, you know, obviously, like, I can talk to a brick wall. So
Yeah.
I love to ask people why they're making what they make or why they're selling, because people's stories are so interesting. Like,
They
you
are.
hear so much from different people. Speaking of talking to people, you went to therapy today.
I did.
Where do you go to therapy? Is it somewhere around here?
Yeah, it's at Killebrew Psychological.
I think that I used to. Am I allowed to ask who your therapist is? Or no, hard pass. Got it. You're
I
like,
don't know.
what's the?
I don't.
I know that they can't say
Well-
hey to you in the grocery store, but you can say hey to them in the grocery store.
Yeah, but mine, she's an intern, and
Okay.
I don't know if I'd want to
No.
throw her name
yeah,
out
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
You know?
No, I completely understand. Do you like having somebody that's so new at their profession? Like, is
Yes.
she a good?
Yes.
Is she just talk therapy, or does she do the EDMR or any of that?
What is that?
It's don't put me on the spot like that, Danny. What is horseradish? What is it called? Did we get an answer on that?
It was up there for like 10 minutes.
Oh, can you pull it back up so I can distract? No, it's rapid eye movement therapy. Like, it's
Oh yeah, no, we don't do that.
yeah,
Just
I've
talk.
wanted to do it, but it's hard to find somebody that will do it. But I also can't, and I'm sure I've been on the. Okay, Bradley, close your eyes. Imagine a beach. Can you see the beach?
Mhm.
Like a
Yes.
TV screen. So there's some people that can't see anything when they shut their eyes, and I am one of those people. So the EDMR thing is really, really hard for me because I can't imagine anything. Like, as a kid, when my mom was like, count sheep, I couldn't count sheep at all because I can't see sheep.
What if you started simple though?
And I've tried my entire life. My
You
entire
can't
life.
picture a square.
Nope, nothing. Black as can be. Like, black
That
as
sounds
night.
pretty peaceful, to be honest.
I don't know if it's peaceful, but I joke because I used to say I had a photographic memory, and I obviously didn't. Danny, I'm so sorry. Can you pull up what horseradish is one more time? Well, my ADD brain just wants to know at this point more than anything. There's a bunch of pictures of horseradish. Why is it called? It grows. Oh, I didn't know that that's what it looked like. Yeah, listed. Oh, these are so many words. Probably mentioned by. This isn't telling me anything. It's just talking about the roots and stuff.
What do you want to know?
Why is it named horseradish? Like, who came up with the name horseradish? Because it doesn't even look like a horse, you know? Look, people are going to be like, why are you, German word, sea radish? Could have been confused with mayor or mar. The English is said to mispronounce. Okay, so it was a miscommunication. And that is my fun fact. Did horses eat it? Imagining an animal that enjoys munching on grass. Okay, I'm bored now. I didn't.
Random facts of the day.
Miscommunication. Horseradish.
Yeah.
I actually
You learn something new every day.
Speaking of random
That's good.
facts, have you been to the Mississippi Museum? So it's a civil
not.
rights museum in the Mississippi Museum. It's free on Sundays, but it's
The
also
one that's here.
yeah, it was really, really cool. I learned a lot about a lot of things that I didn't know. When I go to museums, I don't like so much of the history of things, but like the history of the people and why people do the things that they do. Are you a museum goer?
I used to be. I haven't had the chance or opportunity to go to one, but I was thinking about going to the Museum of Art or Art
With
Museum
the
here.
Picasso exhibit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
was
been
thinking about
planning
going.
on doing that for weeks, and things keep coming up. So
Yeah, I'm gonna just go and knock it out one random day.
yeah, I
Mhm.
just need to like go, and I'm planning on going. But like, I was thinking about going this weekend possibly, but I'm just tired this week. I don't know what's in the air. Why I'm
yeah?
so tired. Yeah, I'm just exhausted. So I'm going. My little sister's in town, and so we're gonna go eat Sushi Village. Have you been there before?
I don't know. I've been dragged to a couple places after meetings for some okay sushi. So
This one's
being from the coast, I'm a little judgy about the sushi up here.
Well, so Ito's the best place to get sushi from
Yeah.
around here.
I've heard Sakurabana or whatever.
I haven't been there, so I can't speak to that. But Ito is the best. But
Ito?
Ito, EDO. It's you will pull it up and show up and be like, why is she sending me here? Why did it? And you go
That
in.
usually
and
crosses my mind when I
treated
talk to you.
what is Claire on today?
Yeah.
But Sushi Village is like, it used to be $8.99 and now it's $15. But you go in and it's made to order sushi, but it's all you can eat. So you can, as somebody that likes to indulge more often than I should, I can get all the sushi in the world. Are you a real sushi fan? Like, do you like raw
Yes.
sushi?
Sashimi and octopus and all that good stuff.
That sounds, yeah, I think I'm just hungry today. Like, we've been on a horseradish kick, a chicken nuggets kick.
Big improvement.
Big,
From chicken nuggets, from rubber chicken nuggets to
yeah,
octopus.
you know, I didn't have many standards. Like, that wasn't my, but they used to be so good. Why were they so good? You can say it.
Because you were high. No, I mean, I specifically remember, I mean, everyone has that, like, you know, leaving the bar at 4 a.m. and everybody in the car wanting to go to McDonald's and get, you know, whatever the hell. You know, I'm sure there's memes and everything all over the internet about it. But I specifically remember, you know, just sitting at my house smoking weed and just being like, these McDonald's this is hitting right now.
And it's just,
horrible.
They're-
Like, if I even eat one now, like, it just wrecks my stomach.
and I also think that has to do with aging. I've had that conversation a good bit, that, like, I used to be able to live off energy drinks and pizza and be fine. And if I go like 2 days without a vegetable now, my body's like, help me, please.
Yeah.
Like, I can't get through it. I actually, well, we started the story, so we'll go with it. I went to, I work at a special needs summer camp every summer, and I went and I decided that I didn't need water that whole week. I was like, these sugar-free Red Bulls are going to do it. Like, that's fine. They'll keep me awake. They'll keep me hydrated. They do not keep you hydrated. And I ended up having so many tummy problems that somebody had to perform a medical procedure on me to help me out. It was, no, it was just terrible. Are you?
What?
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think he went to high school with my brother. There's a guy that died from drinking, like, only Red Bulls for a while. He was a kid. It was,
Like, he didn't drink
years ago,
water ever?
I mean, I think he did, but he had, like, a football game or something, and he drank, like, 20 Red Bulls and had a heart attack, like, out on the field.
Can you imagine being that parent and
I
knowing?
can't.
Well, and all these kids now, I was talking to somebody at work too, all these kids now are on those loaded teas. And I love a loaded tea every once in a while. But if I had a child, I would not let them. That's like 300 milligrams of caffeine, 400 milligrams of caffeine.
Caffeine's dangerous if you don't pay attention to it.
Well, I've gotten so dependent on it now. Like, if I don't get up and have a cup of coffee, I never thought I'd be the grown-up to get up and have a cup of coffee. But if I don't have my caffeine in the morning, I will have a headache. Like, I have a headache right now because I haven't had enough coffee.
I don't know. I'll have the occasional coffee if I'm, like at a meeting or whatever and just not feeling it. It'll perk me up a little bit, but I've kind of just tried to get off the caffeine as much as possible. My pre-workout, though. Adam, okay, I will call Adam out. He has got me on dry scooping it before we go to the workout.
So were you
just
get
like
a
scoop and put it in your mouth?
Absolutely not.
And honestly, like, it's probably not a great idea, but we laugh every single day because of it. It's so funny.
Oh, no.
It's like the cinnamon challenge every morning. It's awesome.
It'll
wake you up for sure. Like, whatever was going on in your day, it is different now because you have, dusted Sour Patch Kids in the back of your throat. And it's not good.
Oh my God. I used to, when I was really big in working out, I got into pre-workout. And pre-workout's great if you're working out, but I went to Birmingham with Tucker and we were hanging out down there. And I ended up having some pre-workout because there was no caffeine. And I was like, have a little pre-workout. Like, that'll give me caffeine. It sent me on a spiral, and not like a little spiral. Like, we went to brunch, and I ran up and down the street to brunch, and my whole body was shaking. And then it sent me on a mental spiral about how I had lost my sobriety and how I wasn't. So it was not a good time. Like, it was absolutely terrible.
That doesn't sound good.
It was not good. It was hard. Like, I was crying in the car, like mid-panic attack, freaking out about everything. I will not have pre-workout again. Like, I had to call my sponsor and be like, am I still sober? Like, what's happening right now? It was awful.
So when I was out there using, I had a night where I took a bunch of acid, like way too much, and it didn't hit me. And I was thinking, like, maybe it was a dud or whatever, you know? And then, so I started drinking on top of that. Yeah.
So it goes. So it goes.
Yeah. And for some reason, I was drunk, and I was like, you know what? I'm hungry right now. And all I had in the pantry was a 6-pack of Vienna sausages.
Ugh.
Yeah. And I put them, like, half of them down, and then walked outside and started tripping balls. And for some reason, I was like, you know what would make this real good? Like, I'm really tired, so I'm going to wake up. I just drank a shit ton of pre-workout.
How does that story end?
With me bent over the porch of the house, just yakking the most horrible, rancid shit out of my mouth all over the yard. And I was like, this was a terrible decision. You know, I'm never coming back. And then, you know, next weekend, I'm just like,
we'll do it again. Yeah. Well, one more go.
We'll figure it out. It'll be better this time.
So, do you have an aversion to Vienna sausages now?
I haven't had one since.
Yeah, that's my mom got sick.
I guess I don't know.
Do they?
If like I had to eat it, then I would. But like my dad says, he's like, you know, that all that food is made for the Great Depression. So, like, we're not in those times anymore.
So
you don't have to eat that
I
shit,
like your dad.
Yeah.
I like your dad. My
and
mom.
I'm like, it's salty, Dad. You don't understand. He's like, don't eat that shit.
I've never had one. Never.
Really?
And I have weird food things.
Advice, don't eat them while they're chilly.
They just...
Because the like, juice in them, like, congeals.
Oh, no. no.
And it's horrible. Like, I used to eat them on the road. And they would get cold in my fridge or, you know, like in the back of the truck.
And you'd still
crack
eat
it
them?
open. No, I'd throw that shit out and hit a car.
Okay,
I didn't
you
care.
weren't
I was like, nope, you can have all of these, you know.
Do you have any other foods that you're not a fan of?
Chitlins.
I haven't had them before. Have you actually had them, or are you just saying you don't like them because they're booty noodles?
Actually had them. They're just it's another Great Depression food. But I do like Hogshead cheese, which is also a Great Depression food.
And remind me what that is again. That is
cheese that is made out. It's like Spam.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
I have some horrible stories from my dad about that he doesn't eat it. I won't bring it up.
Look, you're like, don't.
It's making me like too much not horseradish, but Spam talk.
I also don't like, my least favorite food is green peas and black-eyed peas. It's a texture thing.
Black-eyed peas are so good.
The texture is,
I used to hate them when I was younger.
You know, they like pop a little bit in your mouth. And I don't love those. But you know what I do love? Danny is the camera on me. I love my Hokas and my Stanley Cup. Please, somebody sponsor me. Anybody. But you know who does sponsor us? A really great guy named Danny. And he's about to play his ad right now. Wait.
Are you ready to launch your podcast with ease? Let Audio Alchemy Productions elevate your content with our state-of-the-art 4-camera studio and top-tier audio production. Focus on your message while we handle the rest. From recording to distribution on all major platforms. Whether you're a brand, an influencer, or a storyteller, let's amplify your voice. Contact us at 601-672-6591 and start your podcast journey today.
Are you you a fan of my transitions, Danny? Are they?
I always miss the mark.
You're like, wait, the button. We'll get it down. And hopefully we'll have another ad somewhere in there at some point. I'm trying to think. We did like a whole thing where I had one episode where a guy was on and we just started naming companies, hoping that anybody. I should have said our vape names because we were both smacking our vapes during. I tell people that's the worst thing to get on is a nicotine addiction. It is. It's absolutely terrible.
Well, I mean, I think that there are definitely some worse things out there, health-wise.
That is true.
I mean, this doesn't, revolve around sticking a needle in my arm, but it does. I have realized that, like, if I don't know where it is in the morning, like this, I'm just like, I will rip my fucking room apart, and then it'll just be in, like, over in the living room or something that I left it at, and I'll have wrecked the fucking house. And then I get it and hit it, and I'm like, all right, it's time to put my life back in order.
Have you seen that TikTok of the girl being like, or it's like your boyfriend's breaking up with you, but you can't find your vape, and she's like panicking and like searching all over the room. No, I thought I left it in the car last night at somebody's house, and I cussed for 15 minutes. I was like, I'm not going to make it through the night. I'm going to walk over to this person's house and get my vape because I cannot stand. It was on the couch. It was fine. But then the relief that I felt, I was like, this is bad. This is bad. I need to get one of those little, have you seen the ads for the little whistles, or you put them around your neck and you can blow into? No, not Life Alert, but it's something that you like. It's supposed to just give you the motion of being able to put something to your mouth, because I think that's a big part of the addiction, is just having, like, the nicotine's a thing, but holding something in your hand is.
Well, I mean, I dipped for a long time, and whenever I quit dipping, I just chewed sunflower seeds, and oddly enough, that gave me the same exact, like, relief that tobacco did.
Finding something else. I tried dipping one time.
Like a mouth, just like.
Or something. I don't like sunflower seeds, but I tried dipping once because I saw people doing it. I was like, I want to try. There used to be a hashtag on Instagram. Nasty. It was hashtag girls who dip, and it was all these like 14-year-olds with braces with a big old wad of dip in their mouth. It was terrible.
Is that? What a dark corner of the internet did you find that on?
It was Instagram circa like 2016. It was a great thing. But I tried dipping, but I can't like spit very well. Like, I don't have a lot of saliva in my mouth, so I was just drooling all this. Is there a technique to it? I used to
It's weird to say that, but there is like a right way to spit.
Well, I used to watch Titanic. Have you seen the movie Titanic? Everybody's seen Titanic. But I've seen Titanic.
I can't say that I've sat through the whole thing, but I mean, I read the book. I know what happens. I've
read the book.
Yeah. I mean, I've probably seen it, but
it's, well,
my past is kind of a blur. I don't really remember the Titanic, but I know the key parts.
The boat sinks.
Yeah,
a lot of people die.
I know the true story about it. Well,
the real,
somewhat.
That used to be one of my rabbit holes. That would be interesting to have your friend.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But they had this whole scene. Also, this is like the first time on the pod that I've been able to say that I've seen a movie that somebody else hasn't, because I don't watch movies, but that was one of my faves. But there was a whole scene where Jack's like spitting off the boat, and Rose is a lady, but he teaches her how to spit. And I remember being a kid being like, I wish that I knew how to spit. And I can't, like, I don't know. I just think it'd be cool. I don't know.
You think it'd be cool, and then you're dipping for 10 years. And you're like, that was not cool. Yeah,
that was not fun. And I don't know. I think it'd be, like, if somebody made me real angry to, like, spit on their toes and be like, fuck you. Like, that'd be a cool trick to have.
The adult version of that is just tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, but
you're like, I'm gonna spit on your toes.
But
that's weird. If someone spit on my toes, I'd be like, okay, you're getting punched in the mouth. Like, I'm not gonna fuck off.
Would you punch me in the mouth if I spit on your toes?
If I didn't know you,
I'm a lady.
Yeah, it's 2024.
You said equal rights for everybody.
Rights sucks, apparently. You spit on my toes, you're getting cracked in the mouth.
Okay, fair enough. Adding that to my list.
I'm trying to be less of an asshole this year, so I would think about.
But maybe not act on it. I'll add it
I might spit on your toes if you spit on mine. Yeah,
Just
exactly,
knock her out.
Yeah.
I will add that on my list of things not to do. If you learn to spit, don't spit on Bradley's toes.
Yeah. I'll
This-
teach you how to spit though.
Do you think that you could? That
Yes.
sounded way too hopeful for something. Can my dream
Yes.
become a reality?
Yeah.
Like I've tried. I just don't. This podcast has taken a really weird turn really quickly.
Straight
So
live from Madison, Mississippi. How to
spit on toes.
That-
How?
You know, if Northerners pulled up this podcast and they were like, you know what? I wonder what Mississippi podcasts are like. That would be the perfect caption.
I hope
like,
that they're
how
not
to spit.
listening to this one. Like, this would be, and Hoka's going to watch and be like, absolutely not. This is not going to be a thing. What? Okay, so also, we talked on the phone, and you're starting a new job, question mark?
Yeah.
What are you going to be doing now? Because you've moved around a good bit since
Well,
I've known
I'm
you.
kind of going back to a job that I messed up early in sobriety.
What job are you going back to?
Supposed to be going back to McNeely plant and this doing film blown plastic,
What
making plastic bags. But they have a trucking division, and I hope to end up back in a truck at some point.
And
That's the end goal.
I know that driving made you real happy. Like, I remember.
It did. I was thinking about that today, but I think with sobriety and, you know, putting myself out there and being of service, I really want to go back to school and get into counseling.
That would be really, like, that would be awesome to be able to do that. Is that like a longer term for the later or something? Okay.
Yeah, I can't afford school right now.
No, who can afford anything right now, if we're being honest?
But that was a big thing for me when I first got sober, because they, you know, like I went to rehab and then they gave me IOP, group therapy thing to go to every week. And our therapist had like never smoked a cigarette in her whole life, and she was telling us like what way to think and whatnot. And I just could not relate. You know, it wasn't her fault, but I would rather have a therapist that
kind of
been through
knew.
this shit a little bit, you know.
Yeah, because it's something to go through,
Yeah.
and because I remember people being like, "Just stop," and it was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
if I could, do you
I
not
would.
think that I would?"
Yeah,
What
it's hell.
So, but you've also picked up on some recent hobbies. I learned
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah.
You've been writing poetry.
I've been trying. It's getting a little bit better every day. Like the first one was, it was rough, but I mean, I like it. I've been practicing piano, learning some good songs. I mean, I'm not good at any of these things, but I've realized that it's a good way for me to like break out of my creative shell a little bit. I'm probably going to go back to photography at some point. You know, once I go home, I'll get all my cameras and lenses and stuff and bring it up here eventually. But it's been a good out for, you know, some inner shit, I guess.
Why
I mean,
the
good and
recent?
bad.
Why the recent search for hobbies again? Is anything going on? Like, or
Well, I would have to say that it's the 75 hard thing, bringing that up again, it made me realize that I have like a whole lot more free time in my day than I, you know, claim to have, or like make an excuse, or so I'm just kind of using my free time to figure out what I like. And I've found that journaling and writing, you know, every single thing in my head just down on paper has helped me, like, mentally, health-wise, more than anything has my whole life. And, you know, there's some beautiful parts about that and some dark parts about that I would believe would make a good song or a good poem one day.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting how you kind of start to find these hobbies. Like, I had a couple weeks where I couldn't do this because I was sick. And this is such, like, I'm not doing this for, I mean, if people watch, that's great and that's awesome. And I'm really grateful for it. But this really brings me peace throughout the week. Like, this is something that I look forward to. Like, I get to talk to random people about random stuff. And especially with dealing with mental health and, like, all the things life throws at you, it's really weird to have to find ways to feel your feelings and not.
Yeah, it's weird. really being sober and being in your feelings.
Yeah.
Like, dealing with that shit. Because 8 months ago, I'd be like, I'm just going to go to the bar.
Not
Fuck
dealing
that.
with
Not
that.
dealing with that. And now sitting through a bunch of shit, like, especially going, through all the things that I've fucked up through life, and just kind of sitting on that and thinking about, what I could have learned but decided not to, and decided to just numb it away. But realizing it now is kind of beautiful. Like, I wish I would have got sober a long time ago, but I feel really grateful that I'm here and I have a clear mind to learn from all of that.
See, and I tell people all the time, like, I think me going back out was the best thing that ever happened because I didn't really do it right the first time.
Yeah.
But I
same.
think, like, feeling the stuff, it's not just feeling the stuff now, it's feeling the stuff that I didn't feel for so long is so exhausting, and having to work through the old stuff,
Yeah.
Like, it's just, mental health is such a, especially when life shows itself. Towards the end of my stuff, I had dealt with loss in a lot of different ways, and it was just having to finally feel that when I first got sober it was exhausting because I didn't, like, I just chose not to. And then here we are, like, 8-9 months after my dad died, and I'm feeling that for the first time, and I was like, ooh, I thought I was fine, and I am not
Okay.
fine, not okay at all. What is something, like, mental health wise that you struggle with? Like, what's the hardest part? Are you a depressed guy? Is it more situational? Like, what is it? Inner shame?
I've always struggled with depression, but more or less suicidal depression, to where that's the first thing I think of. And I mean, like, I know that that's kind of a common thought, like when shit goes bad, but it's in my head like nonstop. And I think the writing everything down and realizing how dumb that is has kind of like brought me out of that, and it's helped a lot. But I would say depression is a big hitter for me.
Yeah, I had a therapist say one time that, like, feelings are not an accurate perception of reality. And I think, like, during those times for me, doing all the stuff that they tell you to do, like the big gratitude list and stuff. Like, I was driving today and I was like, I like that tree. Like, that tree is worth sticking around for. Or looking back at, like, all the people that I've met, like meeting you, being able to, like, hang out with my family more regularly, being able to, I don't know, just enjoy life and, like, not be so stuck in my own shit when the stuff's going on.
Yeah, I've found recently that, if I have a thought that I know is going to get me down or whatever, I just focus on whatever big I have planned for the next day, or, like, make something for the next day. And, like, I was feeling real down Monday, and I knew that I had therapy, and I knew that would make me feel good. So I'm just like, I'm just going to make it till therapy on Tuesday, and if I still want to blow my brains out or whatever, then I'll do it after therapy. And then once I do therapy, I'll find the thing on Wednesday that I'm excited about, and I'll just, like, keep taking it day at a day at a day, like, day at a time. And here I am, and I'm happy as can be, and I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, it's crazy to be able to, like, I don't know, not recognize that those feelings are still a thing, because I think I thought at first that, like, all those feelings were going to kind of go away. Like, I wasn't going to feel bad anymore. Well, then bad shit still kept happening. Like, life was still doing life on life's terms, but it's just having the coping mechanisms to deal with it, or the willingness to be able to deal with it, and just accepting a lot of stuff.
I think it's the willingness to get through it is what's big for me. It's like I feel like I just get stuck. I mean, that's depression, is getting stuck, and then you're in bed or whatever for an extended amount of time. But I don't know, something that's helped me out recently is if I have a negative thought, like, at all, I'll give myself 5 seconds to get rid of it. And if it doesn't get out of my head, I do push-ups until it does get out of my head. and that is
What?
health. Yeah, that is health
What?
tip and depression tip, and it's been working like really well.
How?
It
That
gets-
sounds like it would make my mental health worse. If
No,
we're being
it's
honest,
awesome. I can do a lot of push-ups now
can
because
you?
I'm a depressed motherfucker.
I am depressed, so I've been doing. How many push-ups do you think you could do?
I don't know. Me and Adam, I did probably like 250 today.
250 push-ups.
Yeah, not in like one sitting, but I'll just do them until I can't do them anymore, and
So-
then I won't be thinking about whatever the fuck I was thinking about. I'll be thinking about how much push-ups suck, and then that'll like get me back to.
I don't even
a
think
clear.
I could do one right now.
I
Like,
could do probably like 40 or 45
see,
at least.
so why? Like, what keeps you going? Like, because that's a lot of push-ups. So obviously you were feeling a little sad today. So
Yeah. Oh, I cried my ass off this morning. It was great.
I love crying. Is phenomenal.
It is. I don't know. I mean, we've all been through our own shit and everything, but I don't cry around other people. But whenever I'm by myself, I fucking let the waterworks go and am very emotional. That's kind of what brought the poems and everything. It's like, poor me,
Poor little. What's your zodiac again? What are you?
Scorpio,
October or November?
October.
Ugh, that tracks. Okay. Y'all are the worst. No, just kidding. I was
No, we're
raised.
assholes. It's
My
okay.
mother's an October Scorpio, and I joke that I'm in a lot of therapy. But no, I think there's something so relieving about being able to cry. But what's the hope that keeps you go? Like, why do you keep going?
I think that I've really been focused on, like, if I'm not okay, then, I would go to a meeting or I would talk to somebody or, try to reach out. And being that person that gets reached out to is more important than me being okay now. Like, I can hold my own and be okay to hold a conversation for someone that maybe not be able to hold their own. So I think that being just accessible and being able to be a friend to anybody is really, or a set of ears even, is really what's more important to me now.
What are you looking most forward to in life? Like, what is something that you're just super excited for?
Breathing every day.
Ooh, I liked that. You could tattoo that on you. That was I don't know. That was poetic, if you will. Like, that was,
Sure.
I don't know. I think it's so interesting, again, talking to people, because I know you as, and not in like a hateful way by any means. I mean this in like a loving, but you're like my asshole friend, and
That's
it's
what
so nice to have an in-depth conversation with you about life. Like, I feel like I'm leaving this knowing you a little bit more and in a different light too, and able to see a little bit more of who Bradley is, and hearing some like funny stories as well.
Yeah, I guess I should have rehearsed the funny stories because my picks were not great.
No, I thought they were great. Everybody always asks me, like, what are we going to talk about? And I'm like, I don't know, whatever.
I think it makes it a lot more genuine, though.
Yeah, because we're just, we could be sitting on my
Hanging out.
couch having the same conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm so, but we're about up on time, which is crazy. I'm always shocked at how quick this hour goes.
Yeah, it goes by
This is a
quick.
great therapy session. I'll let you know what insurance company I bill through, so that you can deal with that. Because this was a free therapy session, right? I'm
Yeah,
just
it
kidding. Like, no, but I really did enjoy getting to know you more. And it's just, I don't know. I love people and hearing things. If you had anything that you wanted to say, like one final message that you want to give out to the world or send out or anything, do you have anything that you want to say? Any advice?
Just be happy in your own head and go outside and touch the grass.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to
Yeah.
end up like compiling all of them together, because every time at the end I'm like, it's always such simple things, but it's
Yeah.
always so good to hear. It's always like, be happy, be good, just be good,
Yeah.
What are you getting up to the rest of the night? Are you doing anything fun?
Probably some. I don't know. Adam's coming home tonight, so we might work on some step work and then do some guy stuff, play some video games.
That's fun. That could have
Good.
been a whole segue. We'll have to maybe
Yeah.
get you back on sometime.
Yeah.
Or is that what just was that a shut up cue? But no, I'm gonna be real sassy for a minute because Tucker and my mom mentioned not being mentioned on the podcast a whole lot. So Tucker,
Sass it up.
yeah, Tucker and my mom are hanging out right now at the house, probably talking bad about me. But I would have much rather been here talking with you. But they got name dropped, or Tucker got name dropped for the first time tonight, so he can't say anything else about that. But no, I'm real.
Poor Tucker.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. But no, it's such a pleasure to have you. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm thankful for your friendship, and I'm glad that you decide to keep going because I don't know, you're good people, and I love you, and I'm thankful for you. But yeah, we'll catch you next week on Chaotic But Good. Thanks for listening, guys.